Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 85 today and it is tense at the bottom of the Premier League. We are just above the dotted line at the minute in 14th place, but just 4 points clear of the bottom three. But we have bottom place Brighton at home today, the side that we started it all off against with a 7-1 victory. If we can beat them again, we're right in the hunt. We've also got transfer deadline day, and as the title gives away, it's already been a busy January. Big signings, and they've made a big difference to the team. So if you're looking forward to seeing who we've brought in and where we've managed to improve the squad, please do put a thumbs up on the video. We've signed some big players for big money. We've broken our transfer record, our wage structure. And this is why we didn't spend in the summer. Because we get to January, we're in the hunt. And now we've got the opportunity to get people in. There's 3 pending deals for the rest of the day. So to see if they come in and whether they make an impact for the rest of the season, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. We had a head coach transfer special and deadline day in the last couple of episodes. So please do check those out in the eye above too. You can also support the show as a channel member. See the latest Review the 92 looking at Everton and Goodison Park up in the eye above. But a massive thank you for your support as always, both here, over on the Twitch channel and on the football podcast. Let's get going though with our recent results and with our recent signings. Because if we go to the transfer history, there are both familiar and unfamiliar names in the ins and outs. And it's not all good news. So let's get to the transfers, see what's already been done, and then see what might be happening for the rest of the day. And here we are. 2 players have left the club in recent times. Glyn Brown Guthrie has gone to our feeder club Bromley in the National League. He is a pretty good player for non-league standards, but probably suggests he might not make it here. However, he started really well there. We'll see how he gets on. Hopefully the football gives him confidence. And Zach Geacock basically forced his way out. I've taken the risk in hoping that Moore doesn't get injured. And he's gone on loan to Barnsley, where he'll play regular championship football and hopefully keep his quality up no end. However, there are 2 signings. We have smashed our transfer record and we have brought in the man that we and ahed about on the deadline day back in August. Jack Hanifan joins the club from Reading for £12.5 million, slightly less than we would have got him for in August, 1.25 million saved. And look, the games we were losing in the Premier League, it was the left centre half that was the weakest player virtually every time. So there was no choice but to bring Hanifan in. And if we look at him, he's absolutely brilliant. He's professional. And this is so key at the moment. The personality is spot on. The wages are low. He's now worth 30 million quid as well. But he's playing regular Premier League football. He's good on the ball. He's a proper ball-playing defender. And he'll get better in no time. Professional personality, 5-star potential, England under-21 international. We have got a gem. The other player who comes in, I'm almost as excited about, but it's a little bit of a reverse deal. Again, he's 19 years of age. Again, he's a professional personality. It's from Cerro Largo for £400,000, and his name is German Moreira. But rather than being a big transfer fee and a small wage, he's the opposite. He comes in for 400 grand, which was his release clause, but he's on 17.5 grand a week. He's a very good young midfielder though. 3.5-star ability, Uruguayan international already as a teenager. 2-footed, 5-star potential. And look at that player trait. Gets into opposition area. I love it. It's one of my favourites. And look at the finances they're saying he's worth. I'm guessing that might be a bit over optimistic. But if we can sign someone for 400 grand and sell them for anywhere near 50 million, this save will be changing very quickly. Mark my words on that. But I'm delighted with the 2 that have come in. And they've made a big difference both to the personality of the group off the pitch, but also in terms of quality. They've improved the squad and it's allowed us to get good results. What we've also got though is a potential 3 more coming in today on transfer deadline day. If we have a look at those, they are 1 familiar name, 2 new names, 1 player who is confirmed already, 2 that may come later in the day. The gambles have sort of worked off. I did get a little bit of criticism in the comments for not signing in the summer, but Harry Thornley now we're going to get for, in guaranteed money, £2 million less, and for a third of the wage as well, because he's seen we're a good Premier League club, and he's now willing to join for 8 grand a week. So it will allow us to sell someone like Bajcetic, who's just not good enough, and Harry Thornley model citizen personality. I'm going to keep banging on about how important the atmosphere is in the dressing room, and personalities like that make a difference. We know him well. He's played 50 league games for us there, 22 when he was a permanent player. And we've already had a bit of money from his sell-on fee as well, so we're not actually making a huge amount of a loss when signing him. The one that is coming in, though, is Sebastian Bernal, also from Norwich, who are top of the Championship. A release clause of 9.75 million, so you can't accuse me of not spending the money, and on £24,000 a week. But at 21 years of age, he is a superstar. Again, resolute personality, determined, big upgrade technically, and he's tall. He's 6'1". He fits that profile that Scott Egan fills and will be a holding midfielder for years to come. And the reason I talk about Scott Egan is because despite trying to offer him a contract to get him to join at the end of his Reading deal at the end of the season, he will finally be leaving the club in the summer. And one of our best players in the Premier League, been a big threat in both boxes in the air. I hope it's not the end of our story with him, but I fear it might be, unfortunately. But Bernal, brilliant replacement. I know it's a bit more money, but he's a super pro. And then we could have one more midfielder too. Marco Cordes is a number 10, and this is somewhere we've struggled for ability this season, and Marco Cordes for 28 grand a week could be our solution. We're just waiting for the scout report to go through. He's out of contract at the end of the year, and if it's cheap enough, we might buy him now, try and get the deal done in January to help us out. Again, fairly professional personality, very good young player. So big deals potentially to come on deadline day. The media are linking other people with moves in and out. We're not going to be signing the one we're linked with, and Daniel Georgie has a 1.8 million release clause. We've mentioned it a lot. We had a bid of 1.1 earlier in the month. If we get near 1.8, I'm going to take it because he's nowhere near the squad and he's the only one ruining the dynamics at the minute. But really good position we're in. Let's get through transfer deadline day and we'll have a look at the recent results, get into our big game against Brighton. Well, lots of offers going in from our director of football with 11 hours to go, and largely I'm just going to ignore or reject them off camera because you get bored of how many there's been. For now, all three of our targets have agreed to join. We're waiting for the work permit on Cordes, which is really frustrating. So he's not going to be fulfilled for a week. It means we now can't sign him in this window. We had the confirmation for Burnout, so we might as well complete our Norwich double swoop now, mightn't we? Because Thornley has agreed to join. 3.6 million in guaranteed money, 1.2 more if he plays 50 games for the club in the league. But 8 grand a week, a backup centre half, someone who can rotate into the squad. And with Max Taylor reaching his 30s now, could Thornley alongside Hanifan be a long-term partnership at centre half? We're getting an awful lot closer to it. In he comes. Bernal joins the club 6 months early. We'll get him settled in before he becomes first choice next year. He's also, like most of the big earners, got that 40 to 50% relegation wage drop. So no one will be on over 15 grand a week if we go down. Chances are, though, with these boys, we've got a much better opportunity of staying up. Well, 2 more nonsense messages at the top, but the 2 players coming in are exactly what we expect. Harry Thornley, who will get working as a ball-playing defender straight away. 3-star ability, 4-star potential. Brilliant leader for the mentoring group. Should already be fairly influential here. He is. And he's pleased to play for me. So there's some positives in that as well. I can't wait to get him working with the young stars of the future. Don't forget we've potentially got that first golden generation this year. We'll have to see how it stacks up now. And then Bernal. Oh yes. 4-star ability. 5-star potential. Colombian international. Played for Porto. Played for Norwich. They're the only 2 markets we're going to at the moment. But what a replacement for Egan. You could not find a better player than that. And he'll get plenty of football before the end of the year. Flores can welcome him. 2 fabulous, fabulous signings. I am very excited for what the rest of the season brings. And now, probably for the first time, I genuinely believe we'll stay up. Let's go and see if we can get rid of some players. But that's 4 big additions to the squad. Well, we've offered 3 or 4 players out. Only one of them permanently. And we've got an offer for them. Levante are in for Stefan Bajcetic. We're going to accept that. We'll reject the one from Leganes, which isn't as good. I think we paid 170 grand, didn't we? Let's go and have a look. We did. So we'll make a slight profit with the Levante deal. But look at his 7 appearances in the league this season. Average rating of 6.47. He's just not a Premier League player. And with the upgrades coming in, with Thornley coming back, I'm afraid there's no place for him in the squad. So Bajcetic will move on. We have been looking at this guy, Charlie McNeil, who is at Burnley as a centre forward, and it's the only other position in the team I really wanted to do something this year. He's not playing regularly in the Championship for them, but he's making a big impact off the bench. 6 foot, 2-footed, can play as a poacher. I feel like he'd be the perfect foil for Ricky J. Jones, and I know he's 27, he's not our usual demographic of player, but I'm going to have a real go at signing him. So we'll negotiate this, see if we get to offer him a deal, and then let's have a quick look at the other bits. 3 players we offered out on loan, no takers for any of them. 27-year-old Josh O'Brien from the Director of Football. Not a bad little player, actually. I might have to have a look at that one. Right, offer accepted for Josh O'Brien. Deal negotiated for McNeil. It's been accepted, so we should be back in a moment to negotiate with him. In terms of the O'Brien one, basically the cost for us is whether we can get away with these relegation wage drops. If we can't, then it becomes very difficult. So we're going to try and edge this down to as close to 20k a week as possible. If it doesn't work out, I'm not broken-hearted in this position. Let's see what we can do. Well, we've got to negotiation stage where he's asking to be the biggest paid player at the club. I'm not willing to go beyond it. We're offering 28.5 grand a week, which will drop by half if we go down. 1 million signing on fee and a few appearance fees and that too. Will he take it? He accepts. And with 10 hours to go, we can now negotiate with Charlie McNeil. It's a slightly bigger deal overall, but a lot less in guaranteed money. More on incentives, which I'm becoming more of a fan of this year. Let's see what sort of wage he wants as well. Hopefully, it will be manageable. Now, I'm happy with all of his clauses, which I think will make this a little bit easier. Let's try and work it down. Again, getting the wage stuff. Hopefully, we get a deal with him too. Back in a minute. Well, we've been given a little bit of an early dilemma by a very impatient agent, but it's not the worst deal in the world. So, if we can get Charlie McNeil for 28 grand a week and an 800 grand signing on, with the 50% wage drop clause, I'm pretty happy. He's accepted it. We might have a new striker on the block. Well, 9 hours left. Deal out of the club. Stefan Bajcetic leaves for 240,000. Terry Clark has picked up an injury. No big news yet though. The 2 ins are what we're waiting on. Well, there we go. They have both agreed to join this football club. We haven't got enough budget left to do both. I think it would be affordable with the wage bill that's left anyway. But let's work out what's happened with O'Brien's scout report. He is fully in now. Let's have a look. 6'2", good in the air, pretty strong mentally. I mean, he's our best centre-half. We have to get him in, and I know it's 6 months early, but that means Taylor can then go in the summer, doesn't it? And he'd be a solid backup in the future. Irish international, best defender at the club, he's in, and Charlie McNeil will be as well, because he is a very good striker and will certainly compete for the first 11. And in come both players. Charlie McNeil, 3.5-star ability, still more potential apparently, 4-star to go up to a Premier League level, and he's going to get plenty of football to show it as well. Let me add both of them to the squad very quickly while we still can. But really good deal for 4.6 million in guaranteed money. Ricky J. Jones is not happy. He does not need to worry because you are going to be playing alongside him, son. Don't you get worried about that. Josh O'Brien, on the other hand, best centre-half at the club. Fabulous player. Really good for the immediate future rather than being a long-term solution. 5.5 million. Very good deal again. Flores will welcome him. But in terms of the transfer window, we're done on the ins, and it's been a brilliant one. We have a loan offer for one of the players we've been trying to get out. Ross County in for Jamie McKenzie, and to be honest, it's just about getting him football. He's not playing here, so anything off the wage bill is great. He's third choice left back at the moment, behind Thornhill, who's on loan, and Albie Armin. Well, interesting development here on the McKenzie deal. The board have interacted and said we can't sell him because the future fee upon avoiding relegation, which I didn't actually notice, was 140 grand. And they're not willing to sell him at a loss straight after we signed him. So Jamie McKenzie, looks like he's now staying, doesn't it? I'll offer him out on loan again, see if we can get a natural loan deal. But I don't think we are, with 5 hours left. And there we go, a very quiet end to a very hectic day. And I am so thrilled with that transfer window. And I almost feel it vindicates some of the criticism I took in the summer for not spending, because we're now in with a sniff. We're currently just outside that bottom 3. We had that little bit of momentum early season, and now big signings are making a difference and almost giving us a second wind in this crucial campaign against relegation. If we go down, of course, it could be a busy, expensive one, but we think we're going to survive now. I think we've got a great chance. Our wage expenditure, despite going up by threefold this year, is still £1 million a week below the next lowest team, which is Watford. And the Premier League transfer roundup, we've done the most January work. And what a difference they are. 6 fabulous players. A 7th potentially to come in the summer in the form of Marco Cordes. We'll keep an eye on his work permit and his scout report over the next week. And I will try and loan some of those fringe players now out to Bromley, like we did with Brown Guthrie, and just see if we can make them really strong and get them a promotion to help us in the future. But the 6 players in this month, the 2 that we met at the start of the episode, Harry Thornley returns, Sebastian Burnout will replace Egan in the summer for 9.75 million, Charlie McNeil 4.6 million, big striker for us now, and Josh O'Brien, the unlikely centre-half that the director of football found, 5.5 million from West Bromwich Albion. And we are here for fitness test time against Brighton in a relegation 6-pointer. Let me quickly show you the schedule before we get into it, see what's been happening since you were last with me. And the truth of the matter is, it's been a real mixed bag. After you were last with me, we were in that horrendous run. We just lost to Newcastle. We got battered by United, 5-0. We rotated quite a bit, and it looked like a stupid decision. But then, on Boxing Day, we got off to an unbelievable first half against Aston Villa. You thought same old story as we were down after 5 minutes. But look at the comeback. Josh O'Connor with 2, Ricky J. Jones with 1. On the break, we were phenomenal. What was then really pleasing is we rotated and played a lot of backup players against West Ham. They put out virtually the same 11 as 48 hours earlier. We've talked about the AI squad management in FM22 so many times in the 2 saves. But this time, it benefited us hugely. We were 4-0 up in 12 minutes, the opposite of what happened to us against Spurs back in November. And for a West Ham side, you saw me lose 3-0 to on camera. Due to circumstance, due to squad management, we were 4-1 up at the break, 5-1 up by the end, a Josh O'Connor hat-trick and Kamari Doyle's best game in the Premier League. We followed that up though with a 2-1 defeat against Everton, proved 1 game too many for us, though Ricky did prevent a goal drought by scoring another goal. A 1-1 draw against Spurs at home was crucial, Terry Clark with a second half equaliser. Again, very strong defensive performance. Disappointment in the FA Cup, but this isn't really the season we're going to be competing in that. Followed by a brilliant 1-0 win away at Wolves. Kamari Doyle again with the winner, just finding a little bit of form as we started to doubt him. And in another crucial unbeaten game, 1-1 at home to Aston Villa. Ricky J. Jones got the goal against one of the sides below us, but he also picked up a knock. And today, it's touch and go whether he's going to be able to start. After this one, we go away to City and United. We play Moneybags Newcastle. We've got the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal coming up in the run-in too. So which way do you go? Do we think we survive with that run-in? Well, I guess this game is going to have a huge bearing on it. The scrap for survival is on. Let's pick our team. I'm not going to introduce too many today. And see if we can keep that consistency at home to the worst team in the league. Well, unfortunately, despite the intent to keep things the same, we have had to make 1 or 2 big decisions. Charlie McNeil starts up front. That is because Ricky has not recovered enough. He'll be on the bench in case we need him, but with his injury record in the past, I have to wrap him in cotton wool. We've still got pace in behind. O'Connor's in good form. Let's hope it doesn't cost us. Missing out on the squad entirely is new signing O'Brien, who's still struggling for fitness after playing recently for West Brom. But the 11 is staying consistent. It is John Moore in goal, Ryan Young and Albie Arm in the fullbacks, Hanifan and Taylor at centre-half. Egan, Flores, Hubert and Kamari Doyle the midfield diamond. O'Connor switching to advance forward, taking the role of Ricky, with new man Charlie McNeil in alongside him. Can we win against the basement side in the league? Let's go and find out. Into the game we go. This one is massive. Well, the change up front with the new number 26 is our only one from the draw against Aston Villa. Brighton, though, managed by Vincenzo Montoya, have made 3 changes. Ilan Meslier, a man we know well from the head coach, starts in goal for them. But the likes of Follering Balogun, Jason Knight from our Twitch saves with Derby, Rian Brewster, Johnny, who we also have in the head coach, and Brandon Williams are in that squad. Based on what we know from that other series, I'm very surprised they're bottom with those players. Look at the bench as well with the likes of Tavares, Ferguson, Wilmot, Ryan Kent dropping out the squad too. They should be doing better than they are. But for us, We've got to take advantage of momentum. Let's get the lads to go out and impress us. We've got Flores motivated, if nothing else. Through the tunnel interview we go. A big game under the lights at Kenilworth Road. And we are back almost immediately in the first half as Armin heads back to John Moore. Just 1 minute on the clock ticking over now. We need to take advantage here. This cannot be the game we slip up. And I don't care how we win it. It's just got to be a snuck 1-0, a dirty own goal, whatever it is. As Flores picks the ball up on the right. Starting to show those traditional winger attributes in central midfield. As Taylor plays it into him again. And Scott Egan over the top towards Kamari Doyle. No Ricky J. Jones, but plenty of pace. And Meslier makes a great save. What he's doing at the bottom club, I don't know. But Doyle again, just a bit profligate in front of goal. As Flores puts the ball in swinging corner. Egan's up at the back stick. Boy, we're going to miss that. This one's headed away for a throw though. 2 gone, Hemel on top early doors. Well, it's now been a frustrating 25 minutes where we've had more of the territory in the ball, but not created a great deal. We just need that goal to make Brighton go, oh, here we go again, and hopefully claps with it. As Flores runs down the right, trying to make something happen. You can see we're a good side against them. As Young heads into O'Connor, it's headed away, and the second one's back into Meslier's arm. I'm not even sure who it was. Maybe Kamari Doyle, maybe O'Connor again. But it's straight into the keeper as Taylor heads away to McNeil. We've not seen much of the new boy so far. Flores, though, we've seen plenty of. Carrying the ball for Akers yet again. Down the right wing he goes. Evades another challenge into Kamari Doyle. That is a big, big goal in our hopes for survival. We've gone and spent 35 million in January. And at the moment, it may well be paying off. I know it's only Brighton. I know it's the only side we'd expect to beat. But it's still a big win if we can put a 6-point gap between us and the relegation zone for the first time in God knows how long. As Young gets the ball at right back again to Flores. And the good thing here is we look utterly dominant. Flores through to O'Connor. We're doing this without Ricky J. Jones. And as we predicted, as soon as we get the goal, Brighton and Hove Albion will collapse. 2-0, O'Connor gets the second of the game. And that's his 10th for the season. A fantastic effort in his first Premier League season. As it's a free kick for Brighton on the right. Knight into Brewster. Don't want to give them a lifeline here. And John Moore always saves them from camera, doesn't he? Got caught coming for the cross. Do not give them a lifeline at this point. Well, it's half time. We had a late corner and chance to get a third. But we've been the dominant force here. We gave away a silly goal at the back. But have not created much from open play. So let's hope we can keep it up. Because 3 points is all we need here. And it's a goal kick for Meslier, or a free kick I should say, just inside his box. Taylor heads it away though to Armin. They're very one-dimensional Brighton. Up to Charlie McNeil, plays in Kamari Doyle, has to score. Oh, he's put it wide. It's a glorious chance. And he's put it wide at the post. McNeil played him in brilliantly. And I'm wondering now, do I gamble on Ricky? Do I give him 15 minutes? Because I think he'd tear this defence a new one. But for now, I'm going to make the safe changes. Young is booked at right back, so Bennett Sharif on for him. Hubert will be replaced in the middle by German Moreira, a change we've made a few times. Egan's on a yellow too. McNeil's a bit tired. I'm going to go with 15 minutes left. Oh, we'll see the corner out first. Kent's going to put it in for Brighton. To the back post, free header off the line, Bennett Sharif. But where on earth is the defending? Where's the marking as well? Colwell back to Jason Knight. Wide to Samuel. There's nobody out there. Bennett Sharif caught in a central area. Out for another corner. I'm going to make the change up front just to try and put a bit of pressure on their defence. O'Connor switches round. McNeil's had a great debut. And we risk the injury for Ricky. 15 minutes. Just give me 1 goal, Rick. And with 11 minutes left on the clock, we're back in an attacking position. Bennett Sharif interchanging passes with Ricky J. Jones. Flores down the right has been an absolute machine today. A masterclass performance in that box-to-box role. Drifts wide again, goes back to Scott Egan. Did he want to hit one? He does. It falls for Ricky J. Jones. Oh, he's offside. He gets away with it. It's an astonishing miss. But it hasn't cost us yet. Brighton are on the attack though, and I am starting to panic. Brandon Williams surging down the right wing, back to Johnny. We know he's a very good player. Williams delivers again. Kent gets there. That is a fantastic challenge. The flag goes up in the end. I think it was Max Taylor though. Wonderful stop from him. We're coming towards stoppage time, and I'm afraid with 3 minutes added on, I'm going to have to do the dirty. All the time wasting and defensive roles on. Back in a minute to see if we can see out stoppage time. all the changes have been made and we are trying to cling on. And I think we've got through stoppage time unfazed. This is the second moment this season I've believed we can stay up. The first was after the first Brighton game, the 7-1, before knowing how bad they were. Now we've got a 6-point buffer. And looking at previous seasons, 10 more points might do it. The big signings have made an impact. Back in a moment to have a look at the schedule. 6 points clear of the bottom three. Significantly better goal difference. Basically makes it plus 7 points. So let's see when we're going to be back. I want to come halfway between the end of the season and now. Because a lot of you have asked to see games against the top teams and some against the relegation threatened ones. So I think I found the perfect balance in the middle. Let's show Crystal Palace and Liverpool. Palace are a former head coach club. They're a side sort of in the middle of the table. And Liverpool are a superstar club. But for now, there's nothing else that can be said. We have got a genuine chance at staying up. And we have gone massive in the January transfer window. Let me know what you think of the signings. Was it worth the wait not spending in the summer? And do you think now we can survive? Because for the first time, I feel our first 11 is virtually all Premier League standard. If you want to stay up to date, see if we can complete the job, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. There's links in the eye above to the latest Review the 92 episode featuring Everton and Goodison Park. There's also a link to the start of the new season in the head coach with a transfer special and a football podcast, the Twitch channel too. There's loads going on. I can't thank you enough as always for your support. And above my head now, I'll put that Goodison Park Review the 92. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time.